Good morning, small players. Welcome to another episode of Pre-Market Scanning. In this series, what we do is we go over the gapper results. These are the morning gappers or stocks that are set out to open higher than the closing price of the previous day. Outside of looking at increase in price overnight, we also look at increase in average volume, which means that there's more shares being traded now than shares being traded on average in a trading day. And then we look for low float, meaning there's a low number of shares outstanding, so it's easier for the stock to have dramatic moves. High short interest, so we get the help of our beloved short sellers to do a squeeze, and low institutional ownership. So there's less manipulation from big players, and we're trading with other day traders like us that look for the same setups in terms of chart patterns. This morning we have quite a few stocks in the scanner. So what we do in these morning sessions is we go over all of them to determine levels of support and resistance, and then we use these levels of support and resistance to take trades all day long. What you see us do in the morning here in the pre-market session, we continue doing all throughout the day to determine levels that are key for taking trades. So the first thing we'll do is we'll do, here on this sharp rejection where short sellers sort of got in, we'll mark that level. The high of day is 645, so a break above 650 is going to be a pretty easy level to squeeze out shorts because you can see how aggressively they shorted it here. So basically when you think about short squeezes, you want to think in terms of where short sellers would have their stop losses at. So if you know they opened their positions here at 645 and so heavily shorted it, their stop losses are going to just be above this psychological level. So they're going to start getting stopped out at 651. So that's the squeeze level. However, before that, we could potentially find other levels to trade. So let's see what else. This also is a very key level, 575. We see, after they short sold the stock, then they cover their positions here a little bit. Buyers potentially try and come in, but short sellers was still strong. They dropped the price of the stock below that level of 575. They absolutely destroyed it. Long bias traders try to get them out of the way. We see here on this break about 575, this is a squeeze, not a very big squeeze, but it's still a squeeze. We can actually mark that level too because there's three rejections there, 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be a key level too. So they tried again, short sellers took over, and then they really took over when we broke below this EMA 50 line. Then on VWAP, a combination of short sellers covering and long bias traders buying on VWAP, which is a key area to start long positions. We finally have some recovery. Then you have rejection on the first important level, then rejection on the second important level. Now there's some consolidation on EMA 50. So for trades, we can take another VWAP bounce if it gets there. EMA 50 bounce potentially, it's a little tricky because this EMA 20 line is in the way as resistance. Also, a break above this level of 575 is a squeeze level, but you have this resistance right there at 5.9. So there's not much of a range. You have 15 cents to catch. And then potentially break above 5.9 could cause a squeeze, but we see like here, try to perk up a little bit, not really. So probably the safer squeeze area is break above 6 because it's a key, like it's a psychological level. It's a pretty reasonable spot for us to expect that they would have their stop losses. So we'll put an alert there as well, and then maybe we'll put an alert for a drop to VWAP. So again, at any given time, a stock will be between a level of support and a level of resistance, and this is NYSE. I was asked to say the tickers out loud because sometimes if you watch this video a little too early, the HD version is not up yet on YouTube. It takes a little bit for it to upload. I was asked to say the name. So this is NYSE. So at any given time, the stock will be between two key levels, between support and resistance. And we don't take trades in between in, sort of what I call no man's land and hope for the best. This is not gambling. This is not the lottery. What we do is wait for either bounce on support for a bounce trade or break above resistance for a breakout trade. Okay, so this is ENSC is going to be a top watch today for sure. There's already 17 million shares being traded and it's only 8:30. The next one is IINN. IINN is a stock that we've traded in the past. Not like I don't remember in a long distant past, but definitely in the recent past we've traded it. It looked like at some point we were looking at this level of 386 as a key level, and it seems to like have caused a squeeze when it broke above it and then bounced on it. So it seems to still be a key level. I'm going to remove the old drawings, but I'm going to mark that level again. It's probably a daily level that is sort of respecting. So we'll leave that there. Another level, we can select this one of 418 because we have these two rejections there. We have a bounce around that level, a rejection here, so definitely a level it reacts to. I'll do this one only because there's more, it doesn't quite touch this candle, but it's bouncing there now and it's touching these, and this could be short sellers defending that level of 4.4. When you have, a lot of times students also ask, can you check my levels and make sure my support and resistance are correct? And there's like no way to say whether it's correct or not. You know, you can select multiple support and resistances. I don't like my chart to be overcrowded with too many levels of support and resistance because then it'd be too confusing for me to determine where to take a trade. So I try and just use the key levels where I can get the most touches of the candles. But when you are, so for this particular level of 4.4, I could do it 4.4. I could also drop it down to 4.36 to touch this candle, but then I'll miss these candles. So the rule normally is, if you are in a dilemma like that, you follow the most recent candles. Those are the most important, the more important candles to touch than the previous ones. So that's what I made that decision to leave it there. And then we'll leave this here because it's touching these three and now it's touching this one. Yeah, so on this one, obviously break above high of day is a trade. Bounce on this level was a trade. It had too many bounces there, so I wouldn't take a bounce there anymore. We know that the more these levels are tested, the weaker they are. I would take a bounce on this EMA 20 line or bounce on this VWAP level. I just want to make sure we're not missing any action because this trade is, I mean, the stock already has so many shares being traded that, and actually I'll show you, this is what we do in the chat room. Oops. So we do a trade plan like this, right? So this one has not triggered yet, right? VWAP's at 5.2, so we can say ENSC 5.2, which is my entry. My stop loss will be below VWAP, so you know it could literally be like 5.19, but we want to give it a little room, and we have 5 as a psychological level, so we can for now say 5, and then we lift the risk or decrease the risk, lift the stop loss as the trade goes. And then profit targets are right here, right? 5.5, 5.74, and 5.9. This would be VWAP bounce. So this is what, you know, this is what we just did together. So basically, sorry, I don't know how I clicked the dictionary. So this is the trade plans that we shared in the chat room for education purposes. And then obviously, like we, you know, all day long send these sort of explanations of how we're charting. But if you're a student, sometimes when you see the trade plan, you might, you know, it might take you a little bit longer to understand the charts, even if we share them like this. So that's why it's important to watch these videos. But anyway, so this will tell you what a trade plan is. This is the trigger, this is the stop loss, these are the profit targets, and then I'll leave a note like this explaining what the setup is to just help beginners to understand the setups, right? So, and that's sort of what we do in the chat room all day long. This one broke above high of day, but we were getting entertained with the other one. So at this point, on this one, the trade can be bounce on previous high of day, bounce or EMA, or bounce on VWAP. It's rejecting 5 now, which is reasonable. You know, a breakout trade would also be break above 5. So we can do this one. IINN. Entry would be 465 for a bounce trade. Stop loss would be 439 below that EMA 20 line and this support level. And then profit targets would be this rejection here, 489 and 5. And then 515 as a psychological level. Let's say this would be bounce on first support. Would also take EMA 20 bounce or VWAP bounce or break above 5. This one is SUTA. For this one, we had some levels on the chart from like a previous day, but this level seems to still be very key, which is 5. 5 is this full number psychological level. It's reasonable that it would be there. It seems like this is a key level as well. And this one will chart out. Okay, so right now it's trading sort of a no man's land. You know, nothing here. It's below VWAP. Break above VWAP could be a trade. Break above 536. Break above this level of 560, and you know, break above, I guess, this level of 575. Yeah, I'd take a VWAP break on this, and we can build a trade plan together now also. So for this one, you know, the trigger would be break above VWAP. Stop loss can be below this level of 5.2. There is enough consolidation there to be the first support next to VWAP. And then profit targets, I'll probably take 5.5 first because psychological level, then this level of 5.6, then this level of 5.75. Those would be the 3 profit targets. So that's how we use support and resistance to trade. We use it to determine entry triggers, and we use it to determine where to exit for profit or where to exit for a loss, or you know, where to stop out of the trade. So obviously this is a very key level right here. So this is a very sharp rejection. And whenever I see a candle like this is such a key level. So that's what's the high there, 6.5. Then we found some support there, found some support there again, and then third test of support. We often talk about this in the chat room. Third test of support are short setups. So once it broke support, short sellers took over. It's finding support now here at this other level of rejection of 637. I'm not very interested in this reversal trade personally. Some reversal traders might be. I don't like it when it's below all indicators. It's just you're fighting against too much stuff. So for me, I would trade a break above 6.5. This is OCGN, break above 6.5. Then you have break above VWAP. And you can do, well, yeah, I don't want to do these so close to each other. Okay, the next one is EVGO. This one looks like it has very low volume, even though it doesn't have that crazy low volume. But I don't really love the chart at the moment. Maybe it gets a little more interesting later in the day. But right now, it's very flat. You want to have a range as a trader. This one is APRE. Very known stock in the day trading world. So I would expect traders to pay attention to it. You can trade, you know, VWAP bounce there, break above this level of 475. This one is HRTX. Nothing really to see here right now. Nothing to see here right now either. And on these, the volume's low. Okay, in an effort to like keep these videos short and hopefully get more people inspired to watch them, I'm gonna cut this video here, but I hope it was helpful. Please be sure to drop a comment in the comment section if you took the time to watch this morning. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see more of, and if you have any questions, if you'd like us to cover anything, etc. See you guys in the chat room. Happy trading.